Breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. Roki Sasaki has made his decision, and he is joining the Dodgers. Sasaki made the announcement on Instagram. He chose the Dodgers over the Padres and the Blue Jays. The 23-year-old had a 2.10 ERA in 4 seasons in Japan's top league. Sasaki's fastball consistently hit triple digits, and he's got a devastating splitter. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports' Jim Bowden. Jim, thanks for joining us for this breaking news. The sweepstakes is over, right, for Sasaki. The Dodgers got him. The Padres and the Blue Jays were the finalists. The Dodgers just have insane arms now, right? They've got 5 pitchers that could be their franchise pitcher. Big-time signing for them. The rich get richer, but what's your take?
Yeah, I think this gives the Dodgers the best rotation in baseball, better than the Mariners, better than the Phillies, better than the Yankees at this point. I mean, look, as you mentioned with Sasaki, dominating stuff, and he's got a high ceiling. Now, he's not coming over here to the States as polished as Yu Darvish did or as Masahiro Tanaka did, or for that matter, his new teammates in Shohei Ohtani or Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He comes over here with some development to go, but the ceiling is there. And he's going to come into an environment that a lot of great pitchers in that room, a lot of great pitching coaches that can make him reach the potential, which is someday even winning a Cy Young Award. But I think, Katie, the bigger story here is that most GMs in baseball felt like the Dodgers had done a pre-cut deal with Sasaki and that he was going to be a Dodger all along. And for the last 6 weeks, everybody in the Sasaki camp have been telling everybody that that's not the case. They've been telling everyone that endorsements were possible, but, you know, in Los Angeles, he'd be in the shadow of Ohtani. They said he might sign with a smaller market because the media was too much for him in Japan. They kept giving all these reasons on why those reports weren't accurate. But the fact that he actually did sign with the Dodgers, and by the way, he announced it himself on Instagram within the last hour, is going to have a lot of people in Major League Baseball asking the commissioner's office to investigate this signing because, as I said, a lot of people felt like this deal was done before it was supposed to be negotiated.
That is a very interesting point. I will say it is some welcome news to Angelinos, giving them something to cheer about. But we talk about how they have 5 pitchers that could be franchise pitchers here. Why don't you break down the Dodgers rotation for us?
Yeah, okay, let's start at the very top of this. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, we finally got to see him at the end of the year, how great he can be. Tyler Glasnow came over from the Tampa Bay Rays. He's got a 12-6 curveball that just buckles you. He throws 97 miles an hour. His stuff is off the charts. Then, of course, you have Clayton Kershaw, the future Hall of Famer, who's become a 5-inning pitcher, but he still can add and subtract and find a way to win. You've got the power arms of Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May, and now you're going to put Sasaki into this group. I mean, look, they're 8 starting pitchers deep, and the one thing that the Dodgers do, and I think this is important in regards to Sasaki, they don't build their rotation for the 162-game schedule. They build their rotation to have their pitchers, their starting pitchers, ready to go in October for the playoffs and the World Series. And what I mean by that is, don't expect Sasaki to come out here and throw 180 innings for the Dodgers, probably not even 160. They'll bring him along slowly, they'll develop him, but more importantly, they'll have him ready for October when they try to defend their World Championship title. This is a great sign for the Dodgers. And look, after spending $1 billion last offseason on Ohtani and Yamamoto, to get Sasaki for basically the major league minimum plus their international pool, this is a huge coup for them.
It's great for international relations between the U.S. and Japan. But let's talk about one of the losers in this sweepstakes, the Blue Jays. Where do they go from here? Because they did take a big swing at Ohtani last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's like being at weddings, right? And you have this beautiful girl with all these, great intelligence. She has a great job, a great family, and yet she's never the one that gets married, right? She's always the bridesmaid. Well, that's the Toronto Blue Jays, right? I mean, they're the bridesmaids. They were the bridesmaid with Ohtani. They were the bridesmaid with Soto. Now they're the bridesmaids with Sasaki. I think that streak's going to end soon because I think you'll find in the next week they will sign either Pete Alonso or Anthony Santander, but not getting Sasaki is a punch in their gut because earlier today they made a trade with the Cleveland Guardians, and they assumed a pretty decent contract in outfielder Miles Shaw in an effort to increase their international pool by $2 million to be better prepared to give that money to Sasaki, because they really believed they had a chance to get him. And then only a couple hours after they made that deal, they get the word that he had picked the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, look, they're a good bridesmaid. Toronto's a great city. They represent Canada. But unfortunately, they finished in second yet once again, Katie.
You know, to go on more of this wedding talk here, right? Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. They're bringing the something blue, but they're never bringing something new to the table here. Jim Bowden, thanks for joining us for this breaking news. We appreciate you. Roki Sasaki made his decision. He is joining the Dodgers. As you can see there, he made the announcement on Instagram that he chose the boys in blue over the Padres and the Blue Jays.
Hey, we have breaking news. I'm being told we have breaking news, and
what you got?
Oh,
what?
That says Roki Sasaki has chosen LA as his team.
You know how to read Japanese, I see.
No, I'm being told in my ear.
Okay.
So somebody in the control room knows how to read Japanese. It's on his Instagram account.
How about that?
So he's going to LA. So, you know, there's a lot of things I could say right now, but go ahead. It's your turn.
No, unbelievable. We're talking about earlier that this whole entire staff is already stacked, especially when they're healthy, and they just added Roki Sasaki. Are you serious? I mean, this is what the LA Dodgers do. And to call them bullies is actually an understatement. Here they go again.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this. Okay, we already talked about Toronto. Let's talk about it from the Dodger angle. These are the people, and these are the guys who could be in the rotation, and you don't even have Kershaw. No, he's not even on there. Okay? So you got Ohtani coming back from injury. You put Sasaki in yellow because it's brand new, right? Snell, Glass now, injury problems, sure. When he pitches, ridiculous. The question I would have for you is, who is beating that team? No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
You're right. You're not joking.
No.
And this is the thing. Look, baseball, you still have to go out there and play between the lines. But when you look at this ball club on paper, you're talking to yourself, well, look, there's no way they cannot, just go out there and be successful and win it all again and again and again. And that's what Mookie Betts alluded to. There's a very funny clip when he says, well, you know what, it's going to, let's talk in 7 years. That's maybe when we'll pass the baton. But for 7 years, there's going to be pure dominance out there on the West. Who can beat them? Well, over the long run, to get through that rotation with that lineup, I mean, this team is certainly the best team in all of the industry.
And I just want to make sure. You said, what did you call them before? Bullies?
Bullies, yeah.
They're doing nothing wrong. They're not doing anything wrong.
They're not, but they're still.
But people want to be there. And no team has repeated since 2000. You're talking a quarter century. No team has repeated as world champions.